Are you ready to fill your brain with absolutely useless but wildly entertaining facts? Well, you've come to the right place. Today's list is packed with the kind of knowledge that'll have you raising your eyebrows, chuckling, and maybe questioning our researchers' sanity. For instance, did you know that every time you lick a stamp, you're basically snacking on 1/10 of a calorie? Or that we all produce around 6 pounds of stool every single week? Let's dive in and embrace the weirdness. Because I'm Mike with List 25, and here are 25 useless facts everyone should know. 25. The surprising caloric cost of licking stamps. Have you ever thought about what happens when you lick a stamp? Well, here's a fun tidbit. Every time you do, you consume about 1/10 of a calorie. Yep, according to the US Postal Service and some nutrition info from dietfacts.com, that little dab of adhesive adds a tiny bit to your daily calorie count. So if you're suddenly wondering if your stamp licking habit could be part of your diet plan, I don't know, maybe? I'll teach their own, right? 24. Finland Rocks. I've got a metal fact that'll make you want to crank up the volume. Finland has more heavy metal bands per capita than anywhere else in the world. That's right, 70.6 metal bands for every 100,000 people. It's like metal runs through the Finnish air. So if you're a fan of screaming guitars and epic solos, Finland might just be your dream destination. 23. Die Hard's unlikely, almost, hero. Here's a fun nugget from movie history. Frank Sinatra was actually offered the role of John McClane in Die Hard when he was in his 70s. I know, it almost doesn't make sense, right? Well, for those of you who don't know, Die Hard is based on a sequel to a film Sinatra starred in back in 1968, so the producers had to offer him the role. But, can you imagine Sinatra trading in his crooning for a high-stakes action flick? In the end, Bruce Willis ended up as the face of the franchise, and I think we're all glad for it. 22. The Eggplant Capital. No, I'm not talking about the trendy emoji. I'm talking about the actual, kind of disgusting vegetable. Believe it or not, New Jersey is the world's eggplant powerhouse. Over 66% of the world's eggplants come from the Garden State. The majority of this eggplant extravaganza happens in South Jersey, with Gloucester, Cumberland, Salem, and Atlantic counties taking the lead. Monmouth and Burlington also get in on the action with their own smaller batches. So, if eggplant is your thing, New Jersey's got your back. 21. The Bone-Afide Space Oddity. Cleopatra is our cosmic canine companion. The asteroid, named after Cleopatra, obviously, was discovered in 1880 with the help of ESO's 3.6 meter telescope and is shaped just like a dog bone. Its unique form was later detailed by radar signals from Puerto Rico's Arecibo telescope, where they discovered that Cleopatra might be a contact binary. In short, these type of asteroids form when two asteroids collide and stick together. At a hefty 217 by 94 by 81 kilometers, Cleopatra is no small fry. And while it might look like a celestial oddity, it's thought to be a loosely packed metallic object. So basically, a space rock with a lot of personality. Sounds like a job for Finland. That was a pun on rock. Now, 20. 2 weeks of kisses. Here's a fun fact to pucker up to. According to researchers, you'll spend about 2 weeks of your life here on Earth kissing. Just kissing. Whether it's a peck on the cheek, a kiss to your pet, or even a smooch on a teddy bear, it all counts. So every time you plant one on someone or something you love, remember, it's all adding up to that big 2-week total. Hey guys, just jumping in here real quick to tell you some exciting news. You know how you love watching our videos for amazing facts? Well, what if I told you that you could also have 500 amazing facts in the palm of your hand? That's right, we wrote a book. This one right here. What the facts are you talking about? And you can order it right now and have List 25 right in your library or on your coffee table or wherever it is you keep your books. It's available right now on Amazon, so click the link in the description and grab yourself and friends and family a copy today. 19. Tongue trouble. Did you know that crocodiles cannot stick out their tongues? While it might be hard to imagine, a crocodile's tongue is anchored to the roof of its mouth by a membrane. This clever design helps keep their throat sealed underwater and allows them to have the most powerful bite in the animal kingdom, up to an incredible 3,700 pounds per square inch. Ironically, while crocs are stuck with their tongues in place, alligators can stick theirs out whenever they want. 18. 6 legs and no strolling. Dragonflies have 6 legs, but walking isn't really their thing. Instead, their legs are built for more high-flying activities like perching and catching prey mid-air. Long, slender, and covered in tiny hairs, their legs help them sense movement in the air, while sharp spines and claws allow them to grip onto plants or unlucky insects. When they need a break, they simply cling to a plant or surface, but don't expect them to walk around. If they want to get somewhere else, they're more than likely to just fly there. So yeah, 6 legs, but 0 walking. And now you know. And knowing is half the battle. The other half is violence. 17. Colombia's scrambled egg extravaganza. Here's one for the breakfast lovers. Colombia holds the Guinness World Record for the largest serving of scrambled eggs. It weighed an astounding 6,860.8 pounds, or 3,112 kilograms. In a truly extraordinary effort, the city of Soacha and the National Federation of Poultry Farmers of Colombia teamed up to whip, cook, and serve up an impressive 62,000 eggs. And they didn't just use any regular pan. A custom-made one was nearly 40 feet long. Officials said the resulting eggs were given away for free at 2 locations in the city, while the shells were ground for fertilizer. Excellent. Alright, I think that's enough egg puns. Although I cold read these, so there could be more. I don't know. I cannot promise a stop to the egg puns. 16. Most adults experience 4 to 6 dreams per night. The average adult dreams 4 to 6 times every night. Even if you can't remember your dreams, well, they're happening. Most of us forget 50% of our dreams within 5 minutes, and after 10, 90% of it's gone. But here's where it gets interesting. Even people with amnesia dream. In fact, they often dream about things they don't even remember learning. Take the famous Tetris study, for instance. Amnesiacs played the game during the day, but by bedtime, they had no memory of it. And yet, when they were woken up during their sleep, they described seeing falling, rotating blocks in their dreams. So even while they couldn't store new memories, their brains were still processing the day's events, leading to dreams filled with random, unplaceable images. 15. There are 293 ways to make change for $1. Did you know that there are 293 different ways to make change for $1? Well, you do now because I said it in the title. Mix and match pennies, nickels, dimes, quarters, 50-cent pieces, and dollar coins, and you'll have almost 300 combinations that add up to $1. So the next time you're sitting on a pile of loose change, you could technically go wild to see how many combinations you can come up with. 14. Some animals hit the snooze button in summer. Here's a cool survival strategy you might not have heard of: estivation. It's like hibernation, but for hot weather. When temperatures get high, certain animals like lungfish, amphibians, reptiles, and even some invertebrates like mollusks and sea cucumbers go into a dormant state. They slow their metabolism, stop eating, and basically take a long nap to survive the heat. Sea cucumbers, for instance, will stop moving, endure organ shrinkage, and lose a lot of weight during this period, which can actually last up to 100 days. It's an extreme survival tactic, but hey, whatever works when you're trying to outlast a scorching summer. 13. The longest English word in reverse alphabetical order. That would be spoon feed. Yep, all 9 letters are lined up from Z to A. Well, almost. The word means to give someone so much information that they don't have to think for themselves, much like how you'd spoon feed a baby. It's a weird linguistic fact that'll make you look at the word a little differently next time you hear it. 12. The origin of the word goodbye. The word goodbye actually comes from the Old English phrase, God be with you. The first recorded use was in 1573 by English writer Gabriel Harvey, who wrote, G-O-D-B-W-Y-E, a shortened version of God be with ye. Over time, it evolved into the goodbye we use today. So, every time you say goodbye, you're really giving someone a little blessing as they go. 11. 6 pounds a week. Aha! You thought this was going to be a nice fact. Well, not so much. The average human produces around 6 pounds of stool per week. That's right. Between all your daily bathroom trips, you're removing roughly 14 to 17 ounces or 400 to 500 grams of feces every day. And if you're curious, scientists have even clocked the speed of poo at about 0.8 inches per second. Not only that, but each bathroom session typically lasts around 12 seconds, whether you're a tiny mouse or a giant elephant. Over the course of a year, all that adds up to around 320 pounds of poop. about the same weight as an adult panda. 10. The color of darkness. When you ask 100 people what color they see with their eyes closed, you'll probably hear black from most of them. After all, we've been told since childhood that closing our eyes equals seeing black. But what we actually see isn't black at all. It's called Eigengrau, which is German for intrinsic gray. Eigengrau, also known as dark light or brain gray, is the uniform dark gray background that most of us report seeing when there's no light at all. So, there you go. You're officially in the know. 9. Monopoly's rich Uncle Pennybags. Here's another fact you never knew you needed. The Monopoly mascot, Rich Uncle Pennybags, was originally named Milburn Pennybags. And if you think that's interesting, get this. The character you see in jail is Jake the Jailbird, and the cop in Go to Jail is Officer Mallory. So the game grew and adapted as the times changed. Milburn got his makeover in 1999 when he was christened Mr. Monopoly. And there you have it, knowledge unlocked. 8. The only US state that doesn't match a letter with Mackerel is... There is a reason you need to know this next fact. I just don't know what that reason is. Yet. Did you know that every US state name shares at least one letter with the word mackerel? Yep, all of them. Except for Ohio. It's a peculiar little fact that might make you wonder about hidden patterns. And who knows? There are probably hundreds of unconventional state word matchups just waiting to be discovered. Let me know if there are others you know about. 7. No poop? No problem. Bears don't poop during their long winter nap. Instead, they develop what's called a fecal plug in their bowels, which acts as a physical block, keeping everything in place and letting them snooze uninterrupted for months. The plug is a mix of intestinal secretions, cells, and sometimes even bits of hair and plant material. Bears groom themselves a lot during hibernation, so all of those indigestible bits get caught up in the plug. Surprisingly, the plug is, well, pretty straightforward. Just feces that's dried out over time. And according to those in the know, the plugs actually don't smell all that bad and have been described as a light odor that's not unpleasant. 6. IKEA versus the Bible. Did you know that IKEA's catalog used to be more widely distributed than the Bible or the Quran? At its peak in 2016, IKEA handed out 200 million catalogs in 32 languages. That is a lot of flat pack furniture. However, in 2019, after a 70-year run, IKEA decided to retire the print catalog. With digital shopping on the rise and the pandemic pushing more people online, IKEA's website saw a huge 45% increase in sales worldwide, and their apps got a major upgrade to make shopping even easier. So, even without a catalog, IKEA proved that it can adapt and keep up with changing consumer trends. 5. Nepal's one-of-a-kind flag. Nepal's flag is truly unique. Unlike every other national flag, Nepal's isn't rectangular. Instead, it features two overlapping pennants. The crimson red represents the rhododendron, Nepal's national flower, and a symbol of victory, while the blue border stands for peace. Originally, the sun and crescent moon on the flag had human faces, which were later removed for a more modern look in 1962. These faces did, however, stay on the royal standard until the monarchy ended in 2008. 4. Facebook's signature blue logo. Facebook's iconic blue logo is directly tied to its founder's vision. Mark Zuckerberg, who's red-green colorblind, sees blue most vividly. As a result, blue became the dominant color for Facebook's branding. Colorblindness, or more specifically red-green colorblindness, affects about 8% of men and 0.5% of women. This means that those with the condition have difficulty distinguishing between red and green hues. So for Zuckerberg, blue isn't just a color choice, it's both personal and practical. My dad was colorblind. He had trouble telling bluish things apart. Couldn't tell blue from purple. I think red in there too? I don't remember. 3. The mammal with the longest orgasm. Here's a fun fact that might leave you speechless. The domestic pig holds the record for the longest orgasm among mammals, lasting a staggering 30 minutes on average and up to 90 minutes in some cases. So while we might be at the top of the food chain, pigs definitely have us beat when it comes to the duration department. 2. The surprisingly edible item you should still avoid. Did you know that chalk is technically edible? While it isn't poisonous in small doses, eating chalk can cause digestive issues, and it's definitely not a good idea. If you do find yourself eating chalk regularly or as a ritual, it might be a sign of pica, a condition where people crave non-food items. So even if chalk won't kill you, your body isn't designed to handle it well. So it's best to stick to foods that, won't disrupt your health. 1. Eco-friendly footwear. The final fact on today's list is sure to be a hit if you ever find yourself in a discussion about the weirdest fashion trends, if nothing else. Believe it or not, synthetic grass flip-flops are a thing. While they might not be topping everyone's must-have list, it's worth knowing that they could be the ultimate unique accessory for your next beach outing or the perfect Kindle for your summer barbecue. I won't judge. They can even be custom branded, just in case anyone out there needs ideas for the corporate gifting this year. And with that, you are a little more enlightened. And if today's collection of useless, weird, and wonderful trivia tickled your brain, you're going to want to watch our list of 25 bizarre facts you won't believe are real, where I talked about the fact that the bacteria in your body weighs over 6 pounds, how the US government once tried to make it rain with dynamite, and how a fully intact fly was found inside a man's colon. I kid you not. Curious? Well, just click the link right here to check it out. You will not regret it. And only now am I realizing I am wearing a Tampa Bay Buccaneers jersey on the thing about useless facts. Normally I tie my outfits into the list. Not today. It's football season, so I'm repping my team. So please get your Tampa Bay Buccaneers useless out in the comments below. Go Bucks! Raise the red flags. Fire the cannons.